Howdy YouTube family, it's Bolt CRNA coming to you again with another day's topic. So, I get a lot of guys hitting me up on here asking me about how they can get into CRNA school when they're still in high school. This is something that is very proactive of them because they're getting ahead of the game, they're planning for the future, and they're trying to set themselves up for success so they can get straight into school the fastest way and get on with their career that they want to have. So today I'm going to tell you some tips of how to get into CRNA school when you're in high school. Now I've got to say, I'm impressed because when I was in high school, I thought I was going to be a psychologist. And I bet a lot of people out there, when they look back on when they were in high school, what they thought they would be one day, it is not what they actually become. So I think it'd be interesting to do a study on somebody who's 34 or something and say, what did you think you were going to be when you were 16? And then see when they're 34 if that is what they became. Maybe you will become a CRNA. Hopefully you will. A lot of people don't know what they want to be at that age, but if you're sure about it and you're willing to put in the work for it, then go ahead and start working towards it now. You're right on the right track, so good job. My first tip for you guys who are still in high school is focus on getting good grades. Focus on your math, your sciences. Those are going to be important. They're the foundational classes that teach you what you need to know so that you can then go into college and do more of the advanced stuff and more of the advanced material, because what you're going to study in college is going to be really the foundational. It's going to be like the building blocks of the sciences that build up to CRNA school, but to get ready for your college classes, you have to also understand your stuff from high school. And I actually took an anatomy and physiology class in high school, so if your program in your high school offers that, take an anatomy and physiology class. That was a big leg up, and it started already getting my mind wrapped around the medical stuff and the lingo and some of the muscles and the bones. And then when I took it in undergrad and everyone else was failing out and dropping the class and upset because it's one of the first very difficult classes you take in undergrad, I was kind of like, ready for it. I kind of understood what some of the things were. It still was a very difficult class, but it gave me that leg up in college when I was a sophomore and took A&P 1 and 2. Gave me that leg up so that I wasn't quite as unprepared. Another good thing you can do in high school is just get down your studying habits. A lot of people wait till college to finally get down decent study habits. And if you can get good at that in high school, when you start college, you're already going to have that down and you're less likely to fail classes, make a C in a course. I mean, you could probably poll 50% of anesthesia providers out there and ask them if in college they bombed a microbiology class or a chemistry class or physics or organic chem or trigonometry or whatever. So a lot of those difficult classes that you take to get ready for your BSN and then to go into CRNA school, a lot of us bomb those classes our first time around in college because they're very hard classes. And if you're not already prepped and ready to go and able to study and have that kind of mastered down, you're going to fail those courses, or you're going to score very badly in those courses. And those are the courses that you need to be making A's in if you want to get into CRNA school. So you not only need to pass the class, you need to be making A's in them. So if you're in high school and you're looking forward to CRNA school, the best thing you can do is start planning. How do you study? How do you learn? Do you listen through auditory methods? Do you read and write and learn that way best? Do you practice it very well? Do you and learn it that way? Do you get into study groups and learn like that? If you can already start getting that down, and I'm not saying be perfect at it in sophomore year of high school, but if you can at least start getting your mind wrapped around those concepts, that's going to be really helpful for you in the future, so that when you do get into college, you're going to hit the ground running and be able to succeed a lot faster, and you're not going to delay as long. You're not going to be 33 and still applying to CRNA school and trying to get in and trying to get your life wrapped around CRNA school. Another thing that you might be able to do is volunteer at your local hospital. Start shadowing some of the doctors and CRNAs and maybe some of the nurses on the units and stuff in the ICU, and go see what life is like there. Go see what the job is like. A lot of high school, I did that in high school, and I actually volunteered at my mom's local hospital, and I went around and just delivered papers and just did very menial tasks, but it gave me a feel for the hospital. You kind of get a vibe for the hospital and how things flow, and that's a huge part of becoming a healthcare professional, is just understanding the flow of the hospital and where the different departments are and how this piece interacts with this piece, which affects that piece. And you know, it's the hospital is a huge machine, and there are multiple cogs moving in that machine. So in high school, if you can already start getting your brain wrapped around that and how that works, that's going to give you a leg up, and it's going to help introduce you to people who you may be able to network with who can help you in the future. If you start following people around and shadowing and showing interest as a high school student, people, and you show serious interest, people will want to help you. They will want to, you know, give you that leg up and help you succeed. Now, a lot of jobs in the hospital, you have to be 18 or older to get hired into. So you might have to wait till like your senior year of high school, or maybe right after you graduate high school. But I would recommend getting a job as an assistant in the hospital, whether it be like a medical assistant for maybe a doctor's office that works with the hospital, or maybe do laboratory technician, or do you know, nursing assistant, certified nursing assistant. There's quite a few different jobs that are, you know, unlicensed personnel that you can get as an 18-year-old, and they usually pay pretty good. They usually have decent benefits, and a lot of times they're used to people doing those jobs while they're in college working towards, you know, a licensed healthcare professional degree. So they're used to people needing, you know, they need to work around your schedule. So they'll come through and say, okay, I know you only can work Fridays from 5 to 9 and Sundays from 1 to 10 or whatever. And they're used to that. That's what I did. I worked, my first job was in the ER as a registration clerk. And I was 19, and I went through and I just assembled insurance information and plugged insurance in all kinds of other addresses and stuff, information into the computer systems for patients when they come in. You know, that person that you always see that you always hate because you're coming into the ER and you're like bleeding from your arm or something, and you have a massive headache and you might be having a heart attack, and they're like, well, I need you to sign in here, and I need you to, you know, of course the heart attack thing, we move you on along. But everybody else, you're gonna wait. And while you wait, it was me you got to talk to. You got to sit down at that desk, and I got to ask you if your telephone number changed and all these other things that frustrated everybody. Which is also a good way to interact with patients and to kind of go ahead and get that vibe down of how you talk to patients and how you deal with people and how you deal with stressful situations, and also saw the ER and the way the ER works and the way the physicians work there and the way nurse practitioners work there and the way the RNs work there, and it really gave me an inside view. And that is the point where I knew that I didn't want to do psychology, and I switched into a BSN major and started going towards my BSN. So that is a big help. If you're in high school, go ahead and try and get you a job as soon as you can, part-time at a hospital, where you're really going to be able to see the inner ways of how things work, and will let you know, is this really what I want, or if it's not. Because sometimes you may do that job and say, you know what, this is actually not what I want to do day in and day out. This is not the kind of job for me. So it'd be better to learn as an 18, 19-year-old than to figure it out when you've almost finished your degree and you're, you know, done a bunch of clinical rotations, and then realize, oh, I don't think I like this. All right, guys, I think that's all I can think about what I would have done in high school if I had known in advance. Of course, it goes without saying, you know, be safe, don't get in car wrecks, don't get on drugs, don't make other crazy decisions, don't get pregnant if you're not planning to get pregnant. There's a lot of, one girl commented on another video that the one thing that nobody ever told her when she was younger to succeed to become a CRNA was don't get pregnant. And I thought, well, I would think people would know that, but I'm telling you, just in case you don't know, don't get pregnant. If you're not ready for a child, especially if you're in high school, don't create obstacles in your life that will cause problems and complications in the future, so that 10 years down the line, you're still dealing with these problems and you're still struggling to get to your end goal of what you want to do. To become a CRNA, it's a long, long road. It took me 11 years from the time I started to the time I finished to actually get done with CRNA school and finish my doctorate. and I didn't get pregnant, and I didn't get on drugs, and I didn't do any of that other crazy stuff. Just normal stuff in life. You know, everything moved along the way it's supposed to, but life just happens, and sometimes things get delayed 6 months or a year at a time. So, and that's not without creating crazy obstacles in my way. So for those of you who are, you know, trying to plan for this in the future, really do your best to make wise decisions and focus on your career and focus on your education and focus on that. Don't focus on the other crazy distractions in the world. All right, I'm done being Uncle Jason lecturing you guys. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments below, and otherwise, that's bolt out. Hey guys, if you like that, hit that subscribe button for me, and hit the like button for me too, and hit the notification bell as well, and that's gonna notify you guys every time I post videos in the future. And here's a video here, and here's a video there. You can hit them both up and see my other stuff. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.